Welcome back to Real Estate with Mariah and Spenc. Today we are going to have a conversation about some of the top mistakes that we have seen home buyers make over the years, mistakes that you as a buyer or potential buyer are going to want to avoid. And before we get into it though, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spenc.
We're a husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon, and we come on here every single week giving our best real estate tips. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already.
How long have we been doing these podcast settings for now? In studio and now in our home. We changed locations.
We started in studio, I believe it was like the 1st of 2021.
It's unbelievable.
Wasn't it? Because it was like right at the new year.
Yeah, I think I literally started this. We got in contact with the gentleman and decided, hey, let's give this a shot. And here we are. I mean, we're working on 2 years.
Yes.
2 years. That's a long time. So if you guys have been listening to this channel, this podcast weekly, once a month, whatever it so be, because you're more educated for it, by the way. Thank you. We really do appreciate your audience and viewership. And hopefully we're bringing you something to the plate, but ultimately bring us something too. Drop a comment, send us a like, share it with your friends. That's what this is all about. So please interact with us, and we're happy to help you get wherever you need to be.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Did you just almost spill your coffee?
No, I grabbed it and I was gonna move it over here, but then I was like, oh no, never mind.
You gotta be careful. Mariah, if you don't. Okay, I live with her, so I know this.
What?
Be careful with this girl around drinks. She is like the ultimate spiller. Glass, super dangerous. She'll drop it and everywhere.
It's true.
All right, let's jump into the show, though. That's enough about us.
Okay, so these are mistakes, you guys. You don't want to do these if you're going to be buying a home. First mistake. This is the classic. Everyone knows about this, but that is wanting to view homes before you get pre-qualified. And a big reason why this is important thing not to do is because homes are selling... Hey, I'm taking a minute I'm just taking a minute to process how to say this. Good. Because homes are selling pretty quickly. I mean, things have slowed down a little, but still, if you go look at a house and you don't have your pre-qualification letter, there's probably still going to be an offer on it by the time, you make that decision, and then it'll be too late and you're going to miss out. So there's really no point at the end of the day. It's kind of just a big waste of time for you and of course everyone else involved. But, the sellers, they got to get out of their home. Every time there's a showing, some sellers have, there's sellers with multiple children, and it's not easy to get out of your house, keep it clean for the showing, get it out, get everyone out and all the dogs. And it's a lot for them. And then another thing about the sellers is usually, 99.999% of the time, home sellers don't even want someone in their home that's not pre-qualified yet, because it's just their way to kind of vet through the looky-loos, and just for them, it doesn't make sense. I know if my home was on the market, as it has been before, I don't want people coming through. I don't want unnecessary showings, and so that's my spiel on that.
Which, by the way, that is something. If you're into listing a home or wanting representation to help sell your home, that is partly why you're hiring somebody, because you get rid of the unqualified buyers, and you're only bringing in realtors to show your home through access with the WVMLS lockbox where your home key's placed for every showing. So you don't necessarily have to worry about the stranger piddling through your home, opening up all your drawers, stealing your jewelry, as some sellers would tell me in some terrible, terrible stories when I'm in a listing appointment. And that's really sad that they actually have that vision of how business is associated with even me. And that's just an educational purpose and piece, though, that buyers that are attended by a real estate agent, a realtor that is licensed here ethically, they're maintaining. They're the chaperone. Of course, they're roaming through the home, but the realtor's around the corner every step of the way, and it's their job to help sell the home for us and get an accepted offer for you. So it's only in your benefit when listing a home, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make as well.
Totally. Another mistake that just popped into my head is calling the agent on the for sale sign. That's not what you want to do. That's not how you want to get into houses. I've heard buyers before say, that they've seen multiple homes from multiple different agents, and they're literally just home shopping by calling the agent on the for sale sign. And that's just not the way that it's done. That's
Yikes.
Not one real estate etiquette. You're wasting a lot of people's time. There's other people involved here. But besides that, like reasons for, the real estate agents aside, it's not in your best interest, to be honest, truly, as a buyer, like most of the time. Yeah. Because you want your own legal representation. That listing agent is hired by the home seller. They're working for the home seller, and they better have the home seller's best interest in mind. So how could they have your best interest in mind as well as the home buyer? You know what I mean?
It's funny because like us as realtors, we have a fiduciary duty for our clients. And like in a law office, think about this. You go to court. How would you hire the same lawyer to represent you and the defense party? It makes no sense, but yet we're still able to do it, and we're acting as a fiduciary duty.
It might not be legal in all states.
It could not be legal in all states, but it surely is here in Oregon. Now, there are some instances and circumstances where, it really could be in your best interest, especially when there's like multiple offers, or because the listing agent has to have ethical sound. They can't tell you the other offers that they have, but they do have relationship status with the seller. So any good presenter in mind is going to present wisely on behalf of their client. And if the other realtors aren't willing to do that, that's their problem. But I am. So that is a really good negotiating tool that can help get our offers accepted for a lot of our buyers. In hard markets like this, we might be hearing right now, man, there's a cool off. Interest rates are rising. Homes aren't selling. I just don't see that right now still. Right. Days on market went up a little bit, but we're still so short of inventory. It's unreal. I think we're at 3.5 months finally. We're to like 2020 pre-pandemic numbers right now when it comes to listing inventory, which is good for you guys as buyers. That's healthy. What we've been living in the last 2.5 years hasn't been healthy for you as a purchaser.
No.
And you've been lucky and fortunate enough just to get your offer accepted and work through escrow if you have through this last 2.5 years. So that's my little spiel of the market.
Right.
And representation and why it could be good, but it also could be bad for you.
It all comes down to trust. You got to be able to trust the agent that you're working with, that they have your best interest in mind. And there have been times when we, as a husband and wife real estate team, will say a buyer comes onto his listing and wants to make an offer, but he's representing the seller. He'll pass it on to me and I'll represent them. And now, we're one real estate team. We're married, obviously, but we are two separate individuals with two different clients here. And at that point, we're not going to be blurring any lines of what would you say, like
ethical boundaries.
Ethical boundaries. We're definitely he's got the seller's best interest and I got the buyer's best interest. So that's a situation when you can make it work, but you definitely need to be able to trust who you're working with. That's the next mistake, was you don't want to call the agent on the first
call
sign.
the listing agent. Don't do it. Don't drive past the home. Of course, it's an easy contact.
Yeah.
But if you're home shopping, you should mainly already be shopping for a buyer's agent representing you. It's absolutely free.
You want to pick an agent. You want to work with them from start to finish. They're going to have your best interest in mind. They're going to be loyal to you if you're loyal to them. And of course, if you don't have a good feeling about them, then decide that at the beginning. Decide that at the beginning before they do all this work, which is another good reason why hopefully your agent is having a buyer consultation with you, where you'll get all your questions answered and they'll get kind of know you and just put a face to a name, and maybe you'll decide at that point if you feel comfortable with them or not. If they're not doing that and they're just meeting you at the house straight away, then that could be a red flag if they're not even trying to.
Sometimes if I've
have
never
a conversation,
met my client, I'll have that conversation at our first showing.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
make that first showing last longer than it usually does, and it's mainly for us to just get to know each other and feel more confident and familiar with each other, so I can help your needs. And if this isn't an opportunity for us to boast about, hey, if you guys don't have a client a realtor already, feel free to reach out.
Yeah,
VeterasCrawfordRealty.com. We're here to help you. And we got information below. So after this video, click that information.
Totally.
I will respond within 24 business hours, and we will get you on the road. I will set up a showing today if needed. So I'd be a fool to not blurt that out.
Yes, of course. We'd love to work with you.
If you need representation, it's absolutely free as the buyer side. We get paid through the seller's commission.
Yeah.
Our job is to help you find a suitable home and get you under contract. And some people simply haven't been able to get under contract, and they're frustrated with their current agent. And I have dealt with clients like that in the past, and they come on to us, and guess what? 4 or 5 showings later, we got an accepted offer. Bam, we're the hero somehow, some way. And you got a home.
Yes. Okay, this next one could be detrimental to you and your buying process. Say you get a house under contract and you love this house. You're so excited about it. You're ready to go. Everything's going smoothly in your transaction, but then hold up, you quit your job.
Roadblock.
And then you quit your job where you're at because you're moving and starting a new job. Oh, sorry. Wow, I'm getting into this. You're starting a new job where you're going. Oh man, this could be really bad. So don't do that. Don't quit your job unless you talk to your lender first.
And
but
here's
probably
another one.
Just don't do anything until you close.
Here's another one though.
What?
A lot of people transition jobs within the same company.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Especially on like an FHA loan, that's not wise to do any type of transition. Usually, if it's the same company and the same amount of pay, you're good. But the verification of employment is so important, and that's been very, very important over the last few years, especially with the recession back in 06, 7, 8, 9, and 10. They were just giving away loans. Now they verify very heavily to make sure you're a qualified buyer. You're making income, and you can support this loan that you're taking out to pay your monthly mortgage. That's what it's all about. These are backed loans. So the verification of employment is very detrimental to every transaction. And I know this sounds rookie, and I'm really glad you brought this to our attention.
But it's happened before.
It happens more than you think, by the way.
Yes.
And it can be so simple you don't even think this would affect your life. For instance, there's a transaction I had, I'd say going on a year ago now. A truck driver, okay? Their pay, through the company, generally it's the same. It's by miles or per hour. I don't know. Some companies are different. But in this instance, she stayed with the same company. She was paid per hour when she started her pre-approval, but then she changed it to per mile she drives.
Oh.
So this was a huge red flag and a no-no, as an underwriter would say, and it delayed. Deals can still get done, but it takes an extra 30, 60 days because now these underwriters need pay stubs to show support that you're still making the same income that you were. So it's not like you're unemployed, or you still have the same job, but there's proof that you're still currently making the same money if there's any type of financial changes during the underwriting process in escrow, meaning we have an accepted offer on the home and it's in escrow. We're working towards closing it. Your lender's working, our title team's working it. We're working inspections, appraisal, all the above. That's what escrow is. Don't change your rate of pay.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Don't do anything. Don't do anything unless you talk to your lender
just
first.
Sit still. 30 to 45 days.
Just wait.
Just get through it.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. That's a good one. This next one is a little random, but not really because it happens. Don't expect the fridge or any personal property, including like kitchen appliances, to stay in the home unless it's in writing, even if the seller says verbally that they're going to leave it there.
Totally.
If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. There's no guarantee. They can tell you and promise you all day long that they're leaving the fridge.
They can.
Or
trust me.
Whatever personal property. But if you do not have it in a contract, don't expect it to stay. Don't expect it.
Yeah, that happens though. There are false expectations, especially say a home staged, for instance. I just had an interaction with a broker. She couldn't tell if the home was staged or if this was the seller's actual furniture. And they wanted the home to be sold as is, furniture included, because they loved my staging, obviously.
Oh, they asked for that in the offer?
They wanted all the furniture in the offer.
Oh, my gosh. Of course. Who wouldn't want? It was really cute. Who wouldn't want all that?
It was a beautiful home. Yeah. So in those instances, though, it doesn't hurt to ask. But if you're assuming, it's most likely going to be gone the day of possession. So don't assume in real estate transactions.
Yes.
Bring it to your buyer's agent's attention. It's up to her, him, to put it in an addendum, or best put it in the initial offer in the inclusions. Now, every listing has an inclusion section and an exclusion section. Wow, that's a hard intersection to announce. I've never said that out loud. But that is your opportunity to know, okay, this is important to the seller. The chandelier, it's going to be going with the seller. It has importance to her. It's maybe 200 years old, so those type of things would be in the exclusion list. And then the inclusion list is usually the washer, dishwasher, fridge, oven, microwave, those type of things. So just be aware, communicate with your broker. It comes down to communication.
Totally. Okay, this next mistake you could make is, say you found a home that you really do like and you're excited about it, but then you get an inspection report back and it is lengthy. There are so many things on it and you get scared away and you get cold feet, but you just didn't even realize, though, you didn't even inquire, you didn't even ask that these things on this list. Now, this isn't always the case. Sometimes you get an inspection report and it's a good idea to back out or negotiate, or
Absolutely.
there's just things that are very expensive on it. But I've definitely had times where the buyer gets an inspection report back and there's a lot of things. So it looks like, oh my gosh, this is I'm scared.
15-page
but
inspection
they're
report.
all super, super minimal. Like, they're very small things to fit, like inexpensive, very small things. But the buyers don't know that because they don't know, which is fine. It's not your fault. And they get scared away by that long list when in reality, it's really not that bad. So just when you get the inspection, it's okay to ask a lot of questions. Talk to your realtor about it. Talk to your inspector about it. Ask the questions before you just look at the report and say, nope, not for me, and back out. Because in reality, you might see a handful of things and be scared away, but they're not big things. So there are, and you could see, on the other hand, you could have a smaller list of things. There could be less things, but those are things that are like, ooh, you don't want to mess with that, or ooh, that's going to be 10 grand. So you gotta just be talking to people, asking your questions, because you don't want to just look at it and get cold feet when you could be missing out on a home that you like.
This does happen, though. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What?
First-time home buyers. This happens so much.
It does happen a lot.
They get scared because it is intimidating. You just paid $450 for what? The inspector's job is to find something that gets you that $450 back, usually. That's kind of the goal for him. But there's some inspectors that just completely blow the deal because they write just meaningless items too.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, okay, that electrical outlet, the cover on it, it's got a crack in it. Do you know how much the cover costs?
Right.
It's 40 cents to replace.
Yeah.
Yet they redlined it. They said danger,
be aware,
hazard, because it's the electrical item. And so there's all these red flags that could come up in some inspection reports.
It's true.
But you as the individual, you have all the opportunity to back out if you want. That's your right. But then really digest and say, is home ownership worth it, or is it worth renting still?
Yeah.
I'd rather own my own investment. I'd rather create wealth for myself. I'd rather gain equity over time, whether it's 2 years, 10 years, 30 years. That's fun.
Yes.
But then, you got something else to add?
Sorry, no, keep saying. I have something to share, but you keep saying.
But then you also have to consider the big three. That's the biggie. Roof, foundation, plumbing. That's for me. We could add a fourth, electrical panel boxes.
That is important.
Tube wiring, it's kind of old. So but it's getting gone. So that's what's nice. you got to consider those 4, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
okay,
those are big.
Now, if there's some serious issue with one of the 4, okay, that's worthy to negotiate over. Ask the seller, negotiate price, whatever you're comfortable with. And then from there, hear a response. It never hurts to ask because we are in the inspection period. They respond no, yes, maybe. Okay, now it's your choice. Stay with the deal or desert the deal.
Yeah.
And that's what I really consider. Don't worry about a electrical outlet.
Yeah.
It costs $15 to replace it.
So I guess at the end of the day, it really just comes down to thinking rationally, which I know can be hard when you're throughout the home buying process. It's an emotional process. People make decisions emotionally, and you want to just look at it objectively and think rationally and not make any decisions out of fear, because there are times when it's, a good decision for you to back out of a home. Don't get me wrong. That's not at all what I'm saying, but I've definitely seen buyers miss out on really great homes over things that are so minimal. Like, I will lower my commission to pay for that for you. It's like that minimal. Like, come on, guys.
And so, here's another key though.
What?
Consult your broker. Represent you. Your realtor on your side representing you, because they go through these deals all the time if they're any good. Like monthly. This is nothing new to them. What do they see? What's a real hazard in the home? What's their feedback once a home sells? Those type of things. If they're experienced, they're going to be like, okay, this is actually a hazard. This needs to be taken care of. If it's not, I don't think it's the right home for you, because they're looking out, in at least my expectation, I'm looking out for all my clients' investment. Okay. Yeah. I want you guys to be able to resell. I want you guys to maybe put money into it. And now guess what? We got $60,000 and we just invested in it two months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my 2 cents. Communicate with your broker.
Okay. So before I share my parting thought, do you have any other mistakes that you need to share that are like, because that's all the mistakes I have written down. Yeah. Any other mistakes that you've seen home buyers make recently, or that you're like, you do not want to do this right here? Like, you want to avoid this? Yeah.
Okay. So some mistakes I've been going through lately over the last few months have been, I have a team in place from start to finish of any transaction. Mm-hmm. And if my client is only relying on me to look at their finances, sending me their pay stub, sending me that's not my job. Okay. There's a reason we selected the lender, and you need to rely on the people that you chose, whether it's my lender or someone else, to get the job done for you and get the home closed in a timely manner. Whether that's escrow, hey, where's the funds? Hey, where do I wire funds to if you're purchasing? We need to contact the escrow agent. And it's my job to tell you, hey, this is where you need to go. But if you're only wanting consultant through me, that's kind of like a boo-boo, I would say.
Right.
Because I put these people in place to make us successful.
Right.
And if we're not wanting to trust them, then why are we working with them, right?
Totally.
So rely on the experts' opinions to get the job done for you, because we're not like a car dealership, okay? We've been at car dealerships, Mariah and I, over the last few days. Yeah. I mean, they're schemy, they're slimy, they're like pressure sales. Gosh. Oh, you better buy today. Can I just
please
share?
So yesterday,
I do not like car dealerships.
We went to the first car dealership we went to. There was a car. The guy tells us, okay, it's X price, and then we go to another car dealership, and then
owned by the same owner.
Yeah, owned by the same owner. So he pulls up the same car, not at this lot, it's at the other lot, the first one we went to, and we see on his phone the ad for this car, and it's less than what that guy had told us. And so we're like, okay, you're not being honest. Like, I hate when people compare, we're kind of going off topic here, but I hate when people compare like real estate agents. Not that I'll call car dealers.
Completely different.
If you're a car dealer, I'm sure you're wonderful, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, but I hate when people compare real estate agents to car dealers, and maybe some are like that, but as a realtor, you gotta have your client's best interest in mind. And I really hope that, our clients can see that and see that you can trust us. Like, I do not care if, like, I'm not here to get a sale. Like, that will happen when it's supposed to happen. I'm here to help you, because if I don't do that, then what am I even doing? Like, that's not our job. It's to sell you on a house. Like, I couldn't care less what house you buy. I want you to buy the best house that's best for you. You know what I mean?
And that's what's fun.
And I'm your advisor.
We are on like the cold calls, and I get those in return.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're just a salesman.
Yeah.
Or something. And I'm like, I'm really not. I'm really not, like, because the salesman to me is like, hey, I go to the car used lot, and guess what happened?
And they keep closing.
I mean,
you know how many times we were told, so what is it going to take to walk away with the car today, or something like that? Like some stupid.
I gave my price. They never gave it to me, so it didn't work out. Oh no.
Okay, so
beautiful car. Yeah, I'm excited. We might get it. Just let it sit on the lot a little longer. Yeah, like the real estate markets.
Do you have any other?
No.
Thoughts? Okay.
My one thing is I kind of rambled. We went on a car lot. Work with the team that's in front of you. Okay.
Yes.
Through the escrow period. So we're gonna know who our title agent is. We're gonna know who the inspector is. We're gonna know who your lender is. Work with the team in place. Rely on those positions to answer the questions you have in those categories. Of course, come to me, ask me, but then it's my responsibility to tell you, okay, this is where you need to go. Yeah.
And don't get upset at a realtor if they're not answering a question that's not for them to answer, because there are multiple people in place in this transaction on purpose, and we're not the money experts. The lender is. Like, we can we can answer some questions and point you to the right direction, but we're not going to be going through like thoroughly ins and outs of that.
And to be honest, I'm not going to answer a text message that's wanting a definite answer until I actually know the right answer.
Yes, that's true.
So it might take me longer than you'd like. It's because I'm going through multiple people.
And there are actually lines, you guys, like legal lines where we are not allowed to cross, actually. Like, we're not allowed to give legal advice. We're not allowed to give, like, there's a lot of things. We're not allowed to give things the job of the lender does. Like, we legally cannot give certain advice. So we got to stay like pretty surface with a lot of things, but we'll point you to the right person. Okay, so I wanted to end with this. I just posted this on Instagram yesterday, and I thought it was pretty fitting for what we're talking about today. So $2,000 a month rent, which
that
sounds like a lot, but I was looking at rent around us
prices in forever
lately, and there weren't any houses that cheap. Like, everything is more than that house-wise, from what I saw.
We got to up our rent and our rental. Whew. Tenant, I'm not getting up.
Oh my gosh, it's so low, but that's okay. So rent,
people would be shocked.
Probably could be the lowest rent in Salem. I'm not kidding.
We're generous people.
Okay. Rent, $2,000 per month for 30 years equals $720,000. Mind blown emoji.
Okay. So
on something you'll never own. Let that sink in. So you're paying $2,000 a month rent for 30 years. That's going to be $720,000.
Know who fits this description? My grandpa.
Yeah, that's true. But he's a happy guy. He's living a good life. He's fine.
No, they're so happy.
Who
There's
cares?
nothing wrong with that. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is, like, he has so many resources around him.
As a VA,
military vet,
he could have totally just bought, like,
native.
If you're a VA, there's no reason for you not. If you're a VA, that's the wrong term. But if you could get a VA loan, there's no reason for you not to buy. Like, sorry to cut you out, but like, you can buy a house putting nothing down. But that's crazy.
But
what?
It is a personal choice, personal decision.
Yes, you do you.
I respectfully appreciate all my veterans. So
yes,
that every veteran I get to work with, it is so fun to do transactions with them, because I'm there kind of in like the co-pilot seat, and I'm just along for the ride to get you where you want to be. And our lender that we work right alongside with, he has great programs for VA. Like, that is one of his specialties. Absolutely. So if you are if you're wanting to purchase a home with that loan or any loan, let us help you. And if you're listening to this, we work in Salem, Oregon is our home main hub area, but we specialize in anywhere in the surrounding areas. But if you're watching this and you want to buy a house outside of the state of Oregon, contact us. We'd love to help get you set up with a solid realtor in your area. It's what we do. Let us help you find a realtor. We'd love to do that for you. So we do things more different than any other agent in our surrounding area, at least. Nobody else markets homes. That's the way a very cocky statement, Spencer. I promise you, though. That can be really taken. No. I promise you, because of our marketing specialties and then the fact that we have our YouTube channels, that is why we're able. I'm just getting into why we're able to connect you with an out-of-state agent. Yeah. If you are looking to buy or sell out of state. it's through our connection network, through just our online presences.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. We're doing things nobody else does right now. And we're just happy to be on board with it and to share our knowledge and information with you guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening all the way in. If you've listened this whole way through, hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys next week.